At every age, Messi broke a massive record, and many of them most people don't even know about. So in this video, we're going to look at a record he broke at 18, all the way up to his current age, starting with the first record. At 18 years old, he became the youngest player in history to score for Argentina at a World Cup. But the following year, he broke an even more impressive one. At 19, the coach put him in the starting lineup for an El Clasico. But even though he still wasn't the number 10, he stole the spotlight by scoring a goal in just 10 minutes. Then he scored another one, and in the final minute, he broke the record. That's when he became the youngest player in history to score a hat-trick in an El Clasico. Now, at 20 years old, he traveled with Barcelona to the Champions League semi-final against Manchester United. The first leg was at Old Trafford, so imagine the pressure. But that night, he literally terrorized their defense, completing not 5, not 10, but 16 dribbles. So he broke the record, according to SofaScore, for the most dribbles ever in a Champions League knockout match, and he would keep breaking impossible records all the way to his current age. Now, the following season, at 21 years old, Messi faced Man U again, this time in the Champions League final, where he did this. He had already scored 5 goals in the group stage, 1 in the round of 16, 2 in the quarterfinals against Bayern, and now another one in the final. How did a guy this tiny score a header? And in the end, Barcelona won the title. So Messi broke the record for the youngest player ever to win the Champions League as the top scorer. He was so dominant that it made him break a record the following season. In October 2009, when he was 22, Messi won the FIFA World Player of the Year award, what's known today as the best. But the craziest part is that after all the votes were counted and the points were assigned, he finished with 1,073 points, while second place, Bernardo, finished with 352. He literally had triple the points of the runner-up, breaking the record for the biggest winning margin in a FIFA award. So, to absolutely no one's surprise, he later also won his first Ballon d'Or. But if his numbers were already impressive, in 2010 he scored 60 goals. So he broke another record. Even though he didn't win the Champions League, at 23, Messi won the Ballon d'Or again, becoming the youngest player in history to win it twice. Now, in the next season, at 24 years old, Messi did something that's never going to be repeated. In the 2011-12 season, he started La Liga by scoring 2 goals against Villarreal. After that match, he scored hat-tricks against Osasuna, Atletico Madrid, Mallorca, Malaga, Granada, and Malaga again. On top of that, he scored pokers, meaning 4 goals, in matches against Valencia and Espanyol, finishing the La Liga season with 50 goals, breaking the record for the most goals scored in a single domestic league season. Literally, 13 teams scored fewer goals than Messi. All of that when he was only 24 years old. Then, in June of that year, Messi turned 25, and he kept scoring more goals than you can count. He scored penalties, free kicks, chips, long-range shots, you name it. He even went 7 games in a row scoring 2 goals per match. On top of a ton of goals for Argentina, he also scored a hat-trick against Brazil. Then, in December, he scored his last goal of the year, closing out 2012 with 18 goals for Argentina and 73 for Barcelona. With that, Messi broke the record for the most official goals scored in a single year, 91. I'm absolutely sure this is something we're never going to see again. Now, all those goals made him break another record the following season, and it was one that hadn't been touched for almost a century. That record belonged to a player from a long time ago, from the 1910s and 1920s, who scored 369 goals for Barca. So, for decades, he stayed as Barcelona's all-time top scorer. But that only lasted until March 2014, when Messi was just 1 goal away. And then, against Osasuna, he scored a hat-trick to reach 371 goals, breaking the record for the player with the most goals in Barcelona's history. After that, the record just kept growing. But at his next age, 27, he raised the bar even higher. With Suarez and Neymar by his side, he won the Copa del Rey, La Liga, and the Champions League, with Messi scoring 58 goals across all competitions. But this was actually the second treble of his career. He had already won it back in 2009, scoring 38 goals for Barcelona. So Messi broke the record as the only player in history to win 2 trebles as the top scorer. Total madness. Then, after winning the treble at 28 years old, he started a new season. And in the group stage, Barcelona faced Roma, It was a match that ended 1-1, but it went down in history because it was Messi's 100th Champions League appearance. Other players had played 100 matches, too, except Messi became the youngest ever to reach that number. However, after so many incredible records, the one he broke at 29 is one he just couldn't forget. For context, in 2014, Messi lost the World Cup final to Germany. Then, the following year, he lost the Copa America final to Chile. It was already tough, but in July 2016, he went into his third consecutive final with Argentina, and once again finished as runner-up. So, Messi broke the record as the national team captain with the most consecutive finals lost. It got so bad that he literally quit the national team, only to change his mind a few months later. But let's move on to age 30, because that's when his goals started making him break records again. In March 2018 against Chelsea, Messi scored a goal right at the start of the match and then another one in the second half, reaching 100 Champions League goals. Cristiano Ronaldo had reached that number before, but while he needed 144 games to get there, Messi did it. In just 123, becoming the fastest player ever to hit that milestone. However, the record he broke at 31 years old is even more impossible to beat. In March 2019, Messi had already scored 38 goals for Barca that season. Then, in a La Liga match against Espanyol, he scored the weirdest free kick ever, and then added another one to secure a 2-0 win. With that, he became the only player to reach 10 consecutive seasons, scoring 40 or more goals for the club. Literally a full decade. And he was still the Champions League top scorer. So that helped him break another record at 32 years old. The Ballon d'Or France Football 2019 goes to Mr. Lionel Messi. After scoring 51 goals that season, he won his 6th Ballon d'Or. With that, he surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo and became the player with the most Ballon d'Ors in history. Good luck trying to take that record from him. But even as the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, at his next age he actually had a negative achievement. In August 2020, when he was 33 years old, Messi reached the Champions League quarterfinals with Barcelona. But it ended up being a disaster. Barcelona pulled one back, but Bayern scored their second, third, and fourth. Then Barca cut the gap again, but Bayern kept going, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So Messi ended up becoming the captain who suffered the biggest defeat in history in a Champions League quarterfinal. But now, the next record he broke was much better, and it was a very special one for him because it was with the Argentina national team. In June 2021, a few days after turning 34, he stepped onto the pitch in a Copa America match against Bolivia and scored twice. It looked like a normal match, but it made him break a huge record. It was his 148th match for Argentina, so he finally surpassed Mascherano to become Argentina's most capped player ever. But that was nothing compared to the record he would break at 35 years old. At the 2022 World Cup, he scored 2 goals and had 1 assist in the group stage, then 1 goal in the round of 16, another golden assist in the quarterfinals, also in the semifinals, and he scored twice in the final. Yeah, there were some penalties in there, but that earned him the Golden Ball as the best player of the tournament. This World Cup Best Player award has been given since 1976, and no player had ever won it twice, not even Maradona. But Messi had also been named Best Player of the tournament in 2014. So, in 2022, he became the player with the most World Cup Golden Balls in history. Then, at 36 years old, already as a World Cup champion, he went on to play yet another Copa America with Argentina. And the craziest part is he had already played that tournament 6 times. So when he stepped onto the field against Canada, he reached 35 Copa America appearances, surpassing an old Chilean player to become the player with the most Copa America matches ever. That's massive, considering Copa America is the oldest national team tournament in the world. Then, halfway through the tournament, on June 24th, he turned 37, and once again, he carried Argentina, beating Ecuador in the quarterfinals, Canada in the semifinals, and Colombia in the final. With that, he broke Dani Alves' record of 41 titles to become the most decorated player in history. He won 35 titles with Barcelona, 3 with PSG, and now his 4th with Argentina, including an Olympic gold medal for a total of 42 trophies. Then, after moving to Inter Miami, he won even more titles. And with Inter Miami, he kept racking up goals and assists. But one assist in particular was special. In September 2025, at 38 years old, in a match against Nashville, he slipped a through ball for Allen to score. It looked like just another goal contribution, but with that pass, Messi became the first player in history to reach 400 assists. It's insane. So if you enjoyed this video, I think you're gonna like this one too. Thanks for watching.